If you're taking the ACT, especially this brand new enhanced ACT, this calculator right here is going to save your bacon. I am not sponsored by Texas Instruments, but should be with the amount of times I push this dang calculator. So this video is going to go over all 10 hacks you need to know before you take your enhanced ACT. Make sure you hit subscribe button if you like content like this, and I really would love to know in the comments if you end up using these programs as well, and I will let you know is that I am going over programs that are already in this calculator. These are not downloaded programs. These come free if you go buy this at Walmart or Target today. So enjoy. Okay, so for imaginary numbers, instead of wasting time and trying to solve them by hand, just like on problem 15, you can just type it in your calculator, but you need to be aware of your parentheses. So on number 15, you just go 10, and then you hit second I plus 2. Make sure you close that parenthesis, and then divide this all by 2I. And then it gets you the answer, which is going to be 5 minus I, which is A. So the next one is your fraction tool in your calculator. And some people use it on the ACT, some don't, but regardless, it is super helpful for visualizing fractions and can be really convenient in your math class. So looking at this problem here, this will help us actually just demo this tool. I'm not going to focus on the exact answer in this one, but let's go ahead and see what we can do with these fractions. So we are given two kind of crazy fractions of negative 65 divided by 6. So you can easily type this in. And the cool thing with this is you can go math 1 frac, and it will go ahead and simplify that for you. What you can also do is you can easily add and subtract fractions, and it will simplify it. So I'm going to show how on this problem, if it was needed, you would subtract this, you would go math frac, and it would also make that fraction for you. So this right here can conveniently show you and simplify fractions easier. Okay, so this one is actually my favorite tool, and this is how you can easily solve these pain in the butt systems of equations without doing all the heavy lifting. So what you need to go into is apps, and then you scroll down, and these come when you buy this calculator, and you're looking for number 9, that polysymol 2, I believe that's how you pronounce it. You hit enter, and then since we have two equations, you're going to hit number 2 for the equation solver. And then on this, it's pretty straightforward. You typically don't have to do anything. I know it's two equations with two unknowns based on the problem on the screen, and then you click next. And then I enter in what needs to be done. So on this equation here, we have a 1 in front of x, and then you hit enter, and then you can change plus or minus. You hit the 2, and then you hit enter, and then for equals will be 4. And for the second equation, you got your negative 2x. You hit enter to get to your y, and then this is going to equal 7. Once that is all loaded, you just click solve. So what pops up is the solution, and now you know the answer is A. So number 16 is pulled from an old test, and this can be applied to actually more than just circles. So a lot of students do struggle to memorize this circle equation and formula, as you see. But if you ever need to be able to reference it and you're really struggling to memorize it, I'm going to show you a neat little feature. So if you go back to apps, this is also pre-downloaded when you buy this calculator. And what you have here is your conic section. So with number 16, I'm going to show you circle. And on here, this is your circle formula that they have popped up, and you can easily look and remember that HK is going to be your center point and R squared is going to show your radius. So if you reference the question there, you see that your 3 is positive and then your 4 is going to be negative. And so the answer on this one's going to be G. But I want to show you one other thing with this. is sometimes they will ask weird questions about ellipses and like especially parabolas I've seen too. And if you're ever stuck about what these formulas look like and need to reference it, this is all built in so that you can toggle around based on the question and go ahead and find this. Okay, so for this question, this one's a little bit of a harder question here, but you absolutely need to know how to change log bases to be able to answer a question like this or some of the easier log questions. So this is a little bit of how you would go about this question. So what you would do is you would click math, and then you need to make sure you scroll down and look for log base. So on this, like for number 45, it's giving you different options to enter in for X. So what you would do is you would test it out. So we're gonna go ahead and test out C, which is 0. So how we would do this is we'd hit enter, and then it's saying X plus 4. So we pretend X is 0, so we would go 4, and then you would hit enter again. And then if you get that error, just click go to. And then on the parentheses, you're seeing x squared plus 8. So 0 squared plus 8 would just be 8. You tab over and you hit enter. So, and you reference back that it's supposed to equal 2. So then you know that 0 is incorrect. You would rinse and repeat this till you found the correct solution. But regardless, you absolutely need to know where log bases are. Okay, your next thing that you need to know is absolute value and where it is on the calculator. Just in case that you're struggling with this concept, I've also had a lot of kids ask me this too. So I have an example problem over here, and how you would pretty much do this is you can test in some numbers. So I would suggest, since it says for every negative real value of X, all the following statements are true except. So if you look at A and you test a -1, we will show where absolute value is to go ahead and test this answer. So you click math, and then you go ahead and scroll down. You look here, and then you don't see it there. So then it is on NUM number. You hit 1, and then you can enter in -2, tab over, and then it shows you the absolute value is 2. Okay, for number 28, most people would panic when you have these exponents to the negative power. They're actually really annoying to do by hand. So this is how I would do this on the test. So let's go ahead and make sure we got our parentheses right. The fraction button actually doesn't matter too much. It's actually the parentheses. So then I would go -3 divided by 2. And then let's go ahead and hit enter. So first off, when you see like 1.3975, you look at this and you're like, well, I don't see the answer. And you're correct there, but we have a lot more hints to look through. So if we look at F, it's 5 divided by 2. That's not the same number, and we want to match it to that 1.39. So let's go ahead and check another more easy option, and we can check G and H if needed. So let's go ahead and check J. So I'm going to put my parentheses there, and then go divided by 2. And that one is close, but not quite it. So let's go ahead and check G. And this one you can kind of do a couple of different ways, but we can go 5 square root of 5. And then we'll go divided by 8. And that one perfectly matches, so we know the answer is G. Okay, so this question is a little bit more challenging. It's going to take a little bit of application, but on number 54, for all negative values of k, what is the range of values for 2 to the power of k? Now, first off, yes, you can find a k on your calculator, but if you put anything like that in a graph, it's going to lose its mind. And for me, I'm very visual, so I want to see a little bit of the graph, and I want to see a little bit of the table to better answer this question. So we are looking for negative values of k, which in this sense is actually going to represent x, and we'll get there in a second, and we are going to look for the trends that are happening. So I'm going to click my y equals, I'm going to arrow over, and I'm going to go 2 to the power of x, because like I said, k is going to make the graph crazy. So let's go ahead and click graph just so that you can see what it looks like. So this is loosely our graph. You may be able to better answer this question from that point, but I prefer using the table feature. So we are looking for when the x's are going to be negative, because k is going to be our x. And so let's go second table. And so as we look through all of our negative x's, you are seeing kind of a trend. It is less than 1, and that's the key thing that I'm seeing. So if we look at our options, if you look at G, all numbers less than 1, or H, all rational numbers less than 1, or J, all positive numbers less than 1. So it is definitely less than 1, but as you go down, none of these are negative. So on this answer here, you are going to choose J because all these Y values are not negative. Okay, so for this problem, yes, there's more than one way to do it, but I'm going to show you using that app that is pre-built in to be able to kind of show you how to use this best on the test. So where you're looking for the solution set, which is going to be the two x values, which is why it's not a regular parentheses. And the way that you can do it, and like I said, there's more than one way, but we'll show this way. So you got apps, and then you scroll down to number 9. And this is where we did the 2 equation solver, but let's go ahead and do the polynomial root finder. And so you've got 2, and we typically don't have to change any of these. So let's go ahead and click next. So on this one right here, so we've got 4, and you can see that I've done this before, and then with the 0 for the x, because there's no single x, and then -9. So since all of those are entered in, we're just actually going to go ahead and click solve. And then you have your answer here, which is so much easier, and then this answer is going to be B, as you can tell. Okay, so yes, you can solve this number 4 by hand, but let's go ahead and show you using this feature on your graphing calculator so you know how to use it for the future. So if you click on math and then you scroll down, and then what you're looking for is its numeric solver, or numeric, and let's go ahead and type it in. So we go 2 parentheses x minus 12, and then we go plus x. So that is one side of the equal sign. Then we're going to go enter, and I'm going to clear that. And then let's go ahead and click 36. So we'll go OK, and then we will go ahead and click solve. So on this answer, your x is going to be 20, which is going to be J. What do you think? Do you think you're going to use these programs on the test? Are you going to use these hacks, these like tricks and all that stuff? If so, I would love to know what you think about this. If you used it, if it helped, go ahead and leave me a comment, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.